jerk dialogue.
Big jerk dialogue.
Partially because Joel would look at them, Joel Jones and I co-created this book, Lady Killer, and she would look at the...
You only know what Four Eyes are nominations for?
I got like one and she got like three, she would look at the male characters and she has, as a budding writer, learned that you sort of have to love your villains and think that they're kind of cool themselves if they're going to be charming and relatable in any way, or even just realistic. And so she was having a real hard time writing dialogue of Peck, who I was like, oh, he's like Cary Grant on Bender. That's how I was read. And he thinks he's pretty cool, and he's kind of right. And so that was my main function, and so now she's picking up on that. And interestingly added captions to the second series, which I think actually has elevated the game there too, where she has the character thinking through it. So it's an evolving, writing something is evolving throughout it, which I assume on Batman you're getting more of the hang of it as you're now writing on your second arc, or...
Yeah, we're writing the second arc and the third arc simultaneously, so it's interesting.
Oh wow.
Welcome to double shit.
Well, because normally you'd be writing one a month and you'd have a few months into it, but you've been sprinting this whole time of like just tossed out on the racetrack and doing the laps.
And Finn, I don't know if you guys noticed, but so Finch, who's the most detailed artist in comics, was the only artist in Rebirth to do 5 issues in a row at the bi-weekly.
Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so he finished early. Who would have thought? And so now I have to do the arc for Mikkel and the next arc for Finch at the same time.
Wow. We're doing that on Mother Panic on the Young Animal line. Is Tommy Lee Edwards is drawing number 1 and Sean Crystal starting issue 4. And Jody's writing 2 and 6, or 2 and 5 at the same time. And it's a weird, crazy process.
It's very weird.
How much, I know on Sheriff of Babylon, we're pretty much like you and Mitch are working back to back. Is it the same on the Vision, where you're writing just basically as the artist is finishing, you're doing the next issue? Or?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's I think that's true. I'm on a schedule now. I'm writing a script a week, and if I don't write a script a week, then some artist doesn't have a script. So, but it's ending because Vision just ended and Sheriff's ending, so
right.
Then I'll get to take a break, and then someone else can get another book, and then we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll see how long you take a little break for. I've heard that before. Steve Orlando was supposed to and Josh Williamson were both taking breaks, and then this little thing called Justice League versus Suicide Squad happened.
Do you know it spins out of Batman?
So you have to start it?
I started, yeah. It's a Batman, it launches from the book. That's how powerful I am. I launch events.
So you're working on Batman. One of the questions I got on Twitter was do you have any ideal characters you would want to work on, were you given the opportunity?
Batman's pretty cool.
Yeah,
you mean throughout all of
Marvel? Yeah, your dream job, if there is one.
I don't say what.
The guy that you always talk about. Go with that character.
Which character is that?
That.
This is my buddy Daryl. Don't look at him wrong. He's a podcast. Honestly, I think this makes me crazy because I was out again. I have an opening in my schedule, so I would go to DC. I was like, hey, maybe I could write something for you guys. And they're like, what do you want? I'm successful. So they're like, what do you want to write? I don't want to write anyone. I didn't care about Vision. It's a great character, but like I said, if you just have to give me a character and give me a box, and I'll write in that box. Like that's more comfortable to me than me picking a character. I had to pitch, when I first was doing writing, I had to do a Dig Dug comic book that I had to pitch. And I was going to write The Watchmen, a Dig Dug comic book.
Right.
I was going to kill it.
That'd be perfect for the 9-panel page where Dig Dug's
Yeah, right? Some projects that pop in my head. I'd love to do an Atomic Knight series with Tom Fowler, who I came into comics with, because he draws the best monsters. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. What do you want to do? Do you have something you want to do?
I always have the same problem, yeah, where you talk to a Marvel or DC editor in particular, and they'd ask you that, which character do you want to do? And my answer is which one do you need right now?
Right, see, that's the freelance. Get in your head. You don't have to make money. What do you need?
Yeah, my example was always I didn't want to be the guy to bring on my awesome Blue Beetle pitch, and then they shoot him in 52, and then that's it. You're just wasted 3 months of your life working on the Blue Beetle pitch.
That's what that's what Josh did for Flash. He went up to Dan and said, I don't want to work on any other character, just Flash. I don't want to work for you unless you can do Flash. And he fucking got Flash.
So what we're saying is we need to be bigger dicks about
We
it.
do, we're not dickish enough, that's right.
Yeah, no, it was a hard time. I pitched to Marvel DC a couple of times, and it was always like trying to work my brain around like what to do. So like the last time I was working on pitches for DC, it was going to be Joel and I. And then when I would write a pitch, I would actually write the pitch and then I'd do the first issue. Because I want to see how it works and I want to show like I can do this.
I've done that once and it was for Sheriff of Babylon.
There you go. And so I have a Catwoman script lying around because I was like, well, I really love the Brubaker Catwoman, so I would try to do something like that. And I really
some Catwoman Batman,
you better be. And she better be cool.
No, she's really horrible. I just can't.
And then I was gonna do, and then I loved Amanda and Jimmy Palmiotti's Power Girl. So I did a Power Girl Supergirl crossover. That one wasn't very good. I was pretty proud of the Catwoman, but I'm thinking back to the Power Girl.
Yeah, no, I've heard some things about that script.
No one actually read it. Well, it's a perfect example. So I'm working on that, and I send it. My contact at the time was Joey Cavalieri.
I know Joey.
So I pitched Joey. I send it in. I'm like, I have these things. I'd like to show you Joel Jones, and I would like to pitch. And I don't hear from him for a couple months. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's that. And the next time that I turn around on the internet, and they had just announced New 52. So I was like, well, these pitches now are probably useless because they just completely rebooted the company. And then I saw Joey in San Diego, and that was pretty much, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't get back to you. Like, there's not much I can do right now, because we did the entire line. And I was like, fair enough. But that was like the biggest run into killing Blue Beetle of all time. Like, he just scrapped everything, and now my pitches are useless.
They should have like a book called like Pitches That Didn't Get Published or something. Or, like I pitched a Tim Drake series that was really gonna be really cool. It was like Tim Drake, and it was right when Morrison's Multiversity had just come out, and he had defined all those new worlds, and he was gonna be like Tim Drake, Doctor Who, exploring all the worlds, and that was gonna be a cool book. And what else? I've done some. We were gonna do a romance comic. I wanted to write a romance comic for some strange reason. With Dick and Barbara, and we were gonna do this. It was gonna be like there were gonna be pirate ships involved.
Please do that.
It was amazing. I loved it. Like I really went out. I was like, I'm gonna do some research. I bought a bunch of romance comic books, and my wife was looking at me very strangely. Writers are full of dead pitches.
I did do one once as like your Dig Dug. I don't remember the names of these characters. There was some kind of toy line where they were basically like sentient rocks. And you would buy packs of them, and I had to come up with like a whole system of how these rocks would live in their society so you could tell stories. I mean, it's essentially just Smurfs by the time I was done with it. But it was just like this, okay, I'll pitch this. I pitched a cartoon idea for Gwen Stefani once. That was like, it needs to skew young, but it has to involve music too. Like, it was very bizarre. So I had to come up with a whole conceit for how, because it would be half animated, that she would go to high school and that part would be animated, but then it's kind of like a Sailor Moonish thing, and she'd go up to her space station, and that's when it would become live action, and that's where they perform the music and stuff. And I was trying to figure out how to make basically a 40-year-old woman a high school student. That never went anywhere. Like, those were the weird things you get called to do, and you're like, yeah, I'll try it, because I need money, I need to eat. And so I thought about putting those on my website, but then I was part of it, I have to do music on face, though.
I still use old pitch. I did a pitch, another Tim Drake pitch I did, and it was going to be Tim Drake falls in love with a girl who every time she uses her power, she dies over it. And this is a long time, it was before the Grayson. And it's called The Brave and the Bold. Her name was The Bold, I guess. She was the Brave and he was the Bold. And I was like, there was just something so sad of like a person who's like, every time, it was the ultimate Claremont idea. Every time they go out to save the world, they kill themselves a little bit. I was like, so when I had Gotham Girl, I was trying to think of how to make her unique at the beginning. I was like, I'll just give her that little pitch power. So I stole from my pitch. This is my pitch story, is that, so I did a spec issue, so they did like, hey Tom, come, do an issue for us, and we may publish it one day, but we probably won't, but you'll get paid. And so I did a spec issue for Batman, and And if they paid me, and then the editor's like, hey, we don't have any work for you, maybe someday, and just to keep the editor interested or to keep my name out there, this is the Batman editor, I would send the Batman editor every Thursday at 11 o'clock, I'd send him a Batman pitch. I don't recommend doing this because the editor hates you.
Oh, God, there he is again. And he won't take the hint. He's like hard nosed. It doesn't end with it. And then please write again. You're just like, that's a hint, Tom.
You want to please write. If you want, when you're struggling, you want them to tell you to go fuck yourself. At least, but they just probably just don't answer. That's mostly what you just not answer. So like, oh, maybe they didn't answer because they loved it.
They're showing it to everyone, and they're waiting to get it approved before they say yes.
Yeah, so I have a file full of like 30 Batman pitches that I just pitched a Batman story every week. So some Batman ideas are coming out of that.
I say so now you've got an outline for the next couple years.
Outline for
That's double shipping Batman stuff. I did a script for DC for these characters. Anybody remember the Great 10? They came out of 52. They were the Chinese. So then Greg Rucka was bringing them in Checkmate, and I got a call and they said, we want to do a comic with August General of Iron and Ghost Fox.
August General is a great name.
That was a difficult name. I forget what we ended up calling it in the book, but they're like the tragic romance of it was that she can't touch, Ghost Fox Killer can't touch men without them dying, and they're in love, but they're not quite sure whether she can touch him or not because he has an alien stone armor all around his body. And so maybe he's immune, but maybe he's not, so they can never find out. And they were like, we think that you write all these sappy romance comics, that you will be good at this. And did a couple outlines, got approved by Paul Levitz, wrote 48-page one-shot, got paid. There were some notes from our pal, Dan DiDio, that we were gonna have a conference call, which I should have known, now I know. Like if you get scheduled for a conference call at like 2 p.m. Pacific time from an East Coast office on Friday, you're probably not gonna have that phone call. It was at 5 o'clock their time Friday. And then I never heard about it ever again until Dan walks into my office and at DC and he's like, hey, I was cleaning up my office back in New York and I found this script that you wrote for us a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, please, probably don't read that. It's probably not very good. That was a while ago, but that was my one shot. Didn't happen.
Now look at yourself, a
I
failure.
know. This is what happens.
And they had to edit me.
When your superhero book doesn't go. And then I found out there's a bunch of writers that sort of fell on the sword of trying to make the Great 10 work for it. They're just weird characters, and strange names. There's like an A for young character, which is mildly racist.
That's actually racist.
So I was wondering, does your wife read Vision, and does she want to ever come in and go like, what are you trying to tell me?
My wife is my only editor who sees my scripts before they go to the editor. Like a lot of comic book fans, like Scott steers the scripts with me and James, but I don't like to share my scripts for some reason. I don't know, just to be uncomfortable because I feel like they'll see my flaws, and I just want my editors to see my flaws. But my wife is very kind, and is very kind in how she shows when she hates something or something doesn't work, so she'll tell me that. Yeah, she doesn't. I don't know. Virginia's kind of a cool character. Like, I mean, she's going crazy and everything.
Yeah.
She's broken, but I don't know.
There's trouble in that family.
I mean, in my first novel, in case you guys haven't read it, everybody fucking dies at the end. So my wife she's very excited when someone survives, or when like I kill her, she's like, oh, you're gonna kill the kid? Of course, that's a Tommy.
The kid or the cat?
The kid or the cat, yeah, or both.
Would now that you have this, you've been complaining all weekend about this new dog of yours, did that change how Vision is written now?
I just wrote, I'm gonna spoil stuff. I just wrote Ace the Bat Hound into the comic books because I got this new dog, and I was like, Batman needs a new dog. Let's have new dogs together, me and Batman. So yeah, Ace the Bat Hound is coming. It's going to be the cover of CBR tomorrow. Ace the Bat Hound. And he's always so cute. He's a little German Shepherd.
So, go to a couple of the Twitter questions. One is from Dial H for Hagai. Wants to know who has the most pleasant scent in the industry, and what is that scent like? Oh, it's wonderful. What is the most pleasant?
You're a good smelling man. That's
Thank you.
what's in my mind.
I would say Vertigo. He always smells really good.
Oh yeah, Lee Vermejo is just dreamy.
I get lost in his eyes. Lee Vermejo, I had never met him, never seen him, and I get to Vertigo and they hand me Suiciders, and it's macho, like big guys, and I'm thinking that's who's gonna walk through the door, because I'm used to cartoonists drawing themselves into their books. And now this like thin, well-dressed, blue-eyed man walks in and he's in this deep voice. And he's like, so Jamie, let's talk about this comic. And I was like, I will talk about whatever you want. Which characters do you want to write?
Yeah, I love this too. I did a panel once and with a Vertigo panel, and Gene Ha was in the audience. And Gene Ha's the nicest person you'll ever meet in your life. And he sketched us all while he was there. And afterwards he like walked in and goes, look, I sketched you all. And I see this kind of like handsome bearded man. I'm like, you did good by me, Gene Ha. I like you. I was, oh no, you're the weird bald troll in the corner. That's Lee Vermejo. Damn you, Ha!
And someone wanted to know, what do you feel is your snarkiest social commentary in a comic book?
Snarkiest social
commentary? I don't know if you've ever had
Alfred is very snarky.
That's true, you have a very contentious for Alfred.
Alfred's very snarky. The first time I had the Alfred Bruce interaction in issue 2 is when I finally figured, I was like, oh, this is how I write Alfred. Bruce was sitting there, and he was looking, blessed is the history of the panel, but he was, looking, he was like, oh, Gotham girl, I almost died, I'm so sad. And then Alfred comes in and was like, you have to go to a party now. It's like, no, you don't understand, I'm so sad. And then Alfred's like, yeah, Gotham is descending into chaos and you're fucking sad. There's still a party to go to. And then Bruce is like, oh, all right, but I'm not staying long. And I was like, what a fucking shock.
So is this how you write Batman? You have your stub-toe Batman statue that you always post on Twitter, and you're actually making him talk to you?
I read my scripts while I'm writing them. Yeah, and when I do that, I have a little Batman voice. And it was actually really because, like I said, I was writing Ace the Bat Hound, and I was trying to figure out the sound effect, SFX. That's a fancy term for sound effects. The sound effects for the dog, and so it was making like because it was like GR, GRR, GH, like and I had this brand new dog. She looks up and she's like, I was like, oh, it's doing quiet. So the dog kind of, That's professional comic writer. Figuring out the exact number of R's and G's and H's.
I hate writing sound effects so much. Because of that, you're like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't sound right.
The hardest part is ARGGHH. ARG is like the thing everyone should shout. It just seems so natural, but it just reminds me exactly like Garfield. So right? So you write like, oh, it's perfect, and you're like, oh, Garfield, fuck you, Garfield. I scream fuck you, Garfield, when I write comics.
You and Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
And then formerly AWTM would like to know who your favorite writer is.
All time, like
yeah.
And everything. Leo Tolstoy is my favorite writer of all time. I like him a lot.
Mine's F. Scott Fitzgerald, so we're both kind of
I like the F. Scott Fitzgerald too. And I like the Hemingway. I know he's got issues. But I like his prose. If I had to say my ideal prose, it would be Hemingway's Farewell Arms, kind of that very where you take away from all the adjectives and get to the point.
So we have about 10 minutes left. I want to make sure, is there any questions in the audience that you want to ask? One down here.
I've read a few of your interviews about like the CIA kind of look at Sheriff Babylon.
Nerd.
Yeah. Is there anything that you actually put in the book that you didn't think was actually going to be in the book because of the top secret kind of stuff?
So the question is that Tom has to submit every script of the Sheriff of Babylon to the CIA to make sure he's not violating any top secret secrets. And the question was, is there anything that he thought wouldn't get through or didn't get through?
Anything else that would get through the book?
Was there anything that you worried wouldn't get through or anything that got rejected?
Nothing's got rejected. There's been no. I mean, I'm very good. I know what the secrets are, and I know how to keep them. And I'm very serious about that. So I try not to even close to that line. I don't know if there's anything where I was like a little bit of. When I introduced the Franklin character, who's like the little CIA guy who plays a bigger role in the last few issues. I was a little worried about, okay, here's something. So we're doing these last issues that are coming out now, and there's 3 issues in a row, and they take place in the waiting room outside an ops room. And I literally put to Mitch in the script, I was like, don't go inside the ops room, because I know what a CIA ops room looks like, and I don't want to describe it because then I'll get in trouble. So if you read the scripts, the whole thing takes place in the waiting room, because you all know what a waiting room looks like. So like, I don't ever have them go in there, because I either have to have it look false and lie to you, or I just couldn't talk about it. So they like stay outside of the actual room where the secrets happen. That kind of stuff.
Lots of bad things happen to characters. Have you ever written something where you're just like, I can't do this for this character, or this is something I'm going too far?
I've had like mild panic attacks while writing, and they feel so stupid. The two ones where they were particularly hard was the miscarriage and the torture issue. When the letters came in, I'm sure you noticed, like I stopped responding to emails. I couldn't read them for some reason. It was like really hard. I like picked it up. I was like, I just don't want to read this. And some of those issues where when you read issue letters, sometimes you're like, oh, that's perfect. The lettering, I just have to change some little things. But I knew I'd have to do some big changes, and I just couldn't make myself do it. And then when I had to kill off Vin, that was like the dumbest thing. I was like writing the death of Vin. He's not a real person. I found his name by Googling V names. And so it's like, he doesn't exist. I made him up. And I'm killing him like he was always playing. He was made up to die. He was made to go in a refrigerator. That's why he exists. And but I was writing it, I was getting really like tense and sad, like a lump in my throat. It just felt like I don't know why. It was like very emotional for me to do that to the poor guy. Like writing a dialogue where like the father's holding his son and like he's just saying like wake up, and he doesn't. Yeah, that was hard.
But that seems like if you're feeling it, then you're doing it right. Like if it affects you, then that's probably the right decision.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I remember it was just funny because when I wrote the Nasser scene where he has the torture stuff, I wrote it like it was nothing. I was just like, oh, it doesn't affect me at all. And I was weird that it didn't sort of affect me, but it was when the letters came back and he had drawn it. I was like, oh, it hit me in some weird way.
Well, issue 6 of Sheriff was the one Mitch Red had to put down and leave his house because he was so upset by what you wrote.
Yeah.
Because he spends even more time with the characters, so when bad things happen to them, he's like, I spent all of issue 5 getting them to love this person, and then something terrible happens to them in issue 6. And he was very upset with you that day.
Good. I don't think Dr. sitting on his goddamn selfies every hour.
Do you have any other questions from the audience? You, sir.
One of the things I love about your writing is that you're constantly like defying expectations. So you take a character like Dick Grayson, take everything we've known about him, like his Nightwing, him being Robin, and you turn it into like the most pure Grayson story ever. Or you take a robotic child asking about what does it mean, preggers do we not bleed when I don't even bleed? Like, so is that a conscious choice that you're going to defy expectations, or did it just come through the process of writing?
Obviously you try to. I tweeted about this recently. I was in the last issue of Sheriff, and I read it over, like my outline. I was like, oh, there's a huge coincidence in here, and there's a huge cliche. And usually when you plot, like when you think of a plot, you're like, that's a fantastic plot, and then you see the cliches inside it, because cliches are the hardest part of learning to write is trying to get rid of the cliches. That's the last step of everything. You learn to write the cliches first, and then you start to write them. So it's very conscious to sort of try to not write what you expect, especially like in dialogue. You never want, because when I like listen to the weird way I just said that sentence, right? You never want, because you have to get to like the way people actually talk makes no sense at all, and so you never want to write a conversation that's a logical interrogation of someone, unless it's the kind of book you're reading. Like Isaac Asimov, all his characters just interrogate each other to get plot out of them, and I love that stuff because you're just you're reading it for the plot. But you want to do some dialogue that surprises you. You want to do some weirdness into it, something that people can react to, and some communications that don't add up. See, I try to do something different. But it's different for every comic book. You just write what's in front of you that day.
And Jim, you had a question?
Yeah, my question was about, in Vision, one of the most striking things to me about it is how it creates a sense of dread very early on from the foreshadowing of, okay, bad things are going to happen. Was that always how you intended to approach it? And how did you balance the idea of introducing this foreshadowing, or that, beware, this is going to get really awful, without maybe disclosing things that you wanted to be surprises later, or I don't know if that's a...
Yeah, no, it makes perfect, and I remember doing it so I can actually answer like step by step. Number one, maybe Man had just been canceled. I really love that series, and I love the first issue, but like nothing happens in the first issue. And at that time I thought, oh, that's because I didn't sort of set up the stakes in the first issue. I just had done a super cool action scene. And I was like, how do you make comic books that succeed? I was like desperate to find this out, and I was talking to Scott Snyder, and I was seeing Zero Year, which starts with, it starts a super flash forward, and Batman's on a bike, and he's in a post-apocalypse, and like, how the fuck did he get there? I was like, that's awesome, and it sets up the stakes so big, so I liked how Snyder did that. And then, I was also reading a lot, I was preparing a lot of Sandman at the time, and I love how Neil Gaiman does that sometimes, where he'll just like, in the middle of his narration, he'll just skip ahead 50 years, and he'll just say some random fact about despair is never sad except on Wednesdays at noon when the crows crow. He'll say like some weird, like random fact, and he never comes back to him. Why do the crows crow on Wednesdays? And those combinations of sort of the desperation of Omega Men being canceled and the Scott Snyder thing, and then stealing from Neil Gaiman, and then I was trying to find the right voice, and I went to an old The Magnificent Ampersons, which is a Orson Welles film, and it's about suburbia. I was like, about suburbia, it's a great movie about suburbia. And it opens with this very sort of confident monologue with Orson Welles himself, and it's very much an omnipotent of like, the world is changing, we'll become something different. So I combined all those, and I said, okay, well, we'll just start this off by saying, like, this is all going to go to shit, just so you know. Like, this is not about this sitcom family. This is about this sitcom family falling apart. That's how I got that voice. That's very specific. I should be more mysterious than that. I feel like I read some obscure science fiction and realized that I'd be like Grant Morrison, be like, an alien kidnapped me and showed me the secrets of storytelling.
And you did Neil in sort of this quiet accent, you'd be more of pronouncing, like, so I read this ancient scroll.
This ancient scroll, that's right.
You'd be very confident and charming about it. So I think we have time for one more question. You're in the back row, hands up first.
The use of the onomatopoeia bang, Sharon, great. Was that your idea to have just a black panel, or was it the artist that did that? Just a black panel was bang?
That was my idea, and it came from my wife. Like I said, I wrote that script on spec before Mitch was attached to the project. And it honestly, like, I wanted to make it sound more cool than it is, but I just didn't want to show a little girl get shot in the head. And I had just done this Time Warp story where I had a little boy get shot in the head. And then my wife's like, well, you're showing too many kids getting shot in the head in the comics. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take, and I stole the black panels from, well, when I first got down to write Sheriff, I read the best first issues I could find, and the best first issue of any comic book ever is Why the Last Man. And so if you look at Why the Last Man, he uses these black bars to be like Thursday, noon, Friday, and I loved how he did it, how he kind of just went panel, black bar. So I combined not wanting to show the girl get shot in the head with black bar panel of Why the Last Man. That's how it became that. I gotta be more mysterious than this.
What's
This is so concrete.
Because I don't want this guy to think I stole his idea, but I wrote the back page editorial for all the October Vertigo books is me writing about bang, 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 and pow, 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 and why we did that. And as a sort of Sheriff of Babylon's ending, here's how this happened. And I was really stuck for an idea and had to break something within 2 hours, and that's what I ended up doing.
I mean, there's a better answer than that. There's the answer, like, I've been in situations where violence happens, where someone shoots at you or a bomb goes off or something. I've done that. And the actual moment where it happened, like, in the movies, someone fires a gun, you're like, oh, I could dodge it. No, but the moment a gun fires, it's already hit its target. It goes that fast, right? And so when you hear the violence, it's already happened. So like the chaos of it, so you're in the moment after the violence before you're in the moment of the violence. And I was trying to kind of get at that. So like where Chris's experience of it is like the moment after the violence. You don't actually see the moment. That's the fancy Grant Morrison thing.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out today, and thank you, Tom. You're after this, correct, at your table, or
Yeah, I'm back at 3.
So, okay, so, and you remember your table number?
No.
All right, well, he's downstairs, he'll be back at 3.
2414.